Hello, everybody. Welcome back to yet another video of FikarNot.com and now FikarNot from Studies. So, today I have a brand new video for you with a brand new chapter for sure. And the chapter is in commercial applications, chapter number 2, sole proprietorship and joint Hindu family business. And today we'll be learning about sole proprietorship and, of course, the joint into family business. So, the first and the oldest form of ownership structure was the sole proprietorship. Back in the day, a lot of people used sole proprietorship because, of course, it was the easiest type of business out there. Sole proprietorship is the oldest, commonest, simplest, and in most cases, the most natural form of ownership. And sole proprietorship is basically you are the only owner. You do not have a separate legal entity. And a few popular definitions given by a few other people of sole proprietorship is a sole trader business is a type of business unit where one person is solely responsible for providing the capital, bearing the risk, the enterprise, and the management for business for sure. Because you are in a sole proprietorship, you are the owner, you are the manager, you are the controller, you are everything, which actually, if you see, is a merit on its own because you don't have to exactly spend a lot of money in employment, board of directors, as of a company or a firm. You are your separate legal entity, as in a sole proprietor business as a whole is not a separate legal entity. You are known for your business and your business is known for you. As in the case of company is a separate legal entity. It is separate from its members and it is an artificial person. But a sole proprietorship, it is not a separate legal entity. You are the owner, you will be the manager, you will also be the controller, and this also cuts down a lot of employees working in the company or basically the business at its whole. Sorry. So that's the sole proprietorship, and again, it's the oldest and the most best form of business that has ever existed. Right. Okay, so thus, sole proprietorship is a form of business that is owned, managed, and controlled by an individual. It is a one-man show. One-man show. So, one-man show as in you're only one, you are the one person, and you're the one who has to face the public. So, one-man show. Now, some features of sole proprietorship is first, the distinguishing characters of sole proprietorship are as follows. First, single ownership for sure. A sole proprietorship is wholly owned by one individual and one individual only. The individual supplies the total capital from his wealth, his or her wealth, and also the borrowed funds. Similarly, it's a one-man control for sure. The proprietor alone takes all the decisions pertaining to the business. He or she is not required to consult anybody. Ownership and management are vested in the same person. Some persons or some people may be employed to help the owner, but ultimate control lies with him or her. Then third one, there is, again, as I said, no separate legal entity. A sole proprietorship has no legal identity separate from that of its owner, of course. You are the owner, you are the controller, you are the manager. Then unlimited liability. So since you are the owner, you are the manager, you are the controller, it's definitely a very predictable thing that of course you will be liable for all your debts. So it is unlimited liability at all times. That is why sole proprietorship, even though it is like the best type of business out there, it's also the business with the most risk because it has unlimited liability. As for a company, if you are an employee in a company, you do not have unlimited liability. Even if you're a shareholder in a company, you do not have unlimited liability. You will be asked to give debts, of course, dividend to your shares. That's the shareholder. So if I have taken, say, 20 shares, I'll be dividend for the losses of the company only 20% of that because I have 20 shares to my name. But in the case of sole proprietorship, it is unlimited liability. Then there is no profit sharing. This is where the merit comes in. So of course there is no profit sharing at all in sole proprietorship. You basically get all the profits in the world, and it's a great thing. Then of course it's small size. So since there's only one person, normally in a sole proprietorship, only one person. So how much can a person invest? Say 4 to 5 lakhs at the maximum. at most, even after, say, borrowing funds and all of that. So of course this much capital isn't really enough to start a whole sole proprietorship business, because a business needs a lot more. It not only needs it not only needs office, it needs a few employees here and there, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you will be the owner, you are the controller, and you are the manager. But you may need a few employees here to there, their wages. Then if you have like a, say, if you're opening a market, right, you need all the trolleys, then the business cards, packets, racks, and a lot of investment goes there. So of course the sole proprietorship business is always a small scale business. You cannot really invest a lot. I mean, you can, but after a certain amount of time you don't even know if your business idea will succeed or not. So of course you always have to, the sole proprietorship business is basically always small size, and you always have to make sure how much you invest. And even if all of that is gone, you shouldn't be in such a bad debt, because of course the bank, they exactly know, all your home address, etc. And if you're not able to pay them, they will take you out of your house, they will take the money that they need, because that's how a bank works. Then the 7th point is no legal formalities. So of course, sole proprietorship, you are the only person. You can think in your mind, hey, I want to start a business tomorrow. Of course, there's a law that goes into it, but apart from that, there is no legally there are no formalities. So basically, no legal formalities. No legal formalities are required to start, manage, and dissolve sole trade a business. Only a license is needed in certain types of businesses, if like a wine shop, or like an alcohol shop, a tattoo shop, or shops like, a tobacco shop or something like that, or even, let's say, a car driving shop, I guess. So all of these, they do need a license, and because it's all adult stuff, you can say. So of course it needs license, and this is how it goes. Then let's start with the merits of sole proprietorship. So I think it's pretty predictable that what the merits of the sole proprietorship will be. But before that, let me just tell you what is important and what is not. First of all, from the first page, nothing is required. Second page, the definition that I said, the sole proprietorship is a form of blah 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 blah, all of that. Features, each and everything you can mark it. If you want to mark with green also, you can. I mean, the features are extremely important. But again, I think it's pretty predictable what it is going to be. So you can just mark the headings, because remember, in commercial applications especially, the headings of your answer are very important. Like if I'm saying motivation to work, the heading of a merit should be motivation to work. It shouldn't be motivation to working in a sole proprietorship or something like that. Because it's better if you have specific headings. Whatever your reason may be, you can elaborate it however you want in your own words, but the heading should be same normally. Okay, now let's move on to the merits of sole proprietorship. So the main advantages of sole proprietorship are as follows. Oh wait, before that, I hope you all understood what all you have to mark. Okay, now some merits of sole proprietorship is, first, it is easy to start and dissolve, very easy. A sole proprietorship can easily be set up, and there's no legal formalities and expenditures required. It's only like there's no need to associate others or to enter into any agreement, because you're the only person. So you can just have like a quick agreement with your mind and yourself, and that's it. That's how a sole proprietorship business works. Then of course, the second one is motivation to work. The sole proprietor alone is entitled to receive all the profits of the business, and he alone bears all the losses. There's a direct relationship between the effort and the reward. Therefore, there is an incentive to work harder. The proprietor is motivated to make the best possible use of his skills and resources to maximize profits. Now, in the case of companies and all of that, you are working, right? But you don't exactly have a direct contact between the effort and the reward. Okay, company, that's probably a bad example. But like in chapter 1, we saw that, or let's say, let's just take like a random example, just like an example of any type of business out there. Normally, a large scale business, there is a huge difference between the effort and the reward, because you don't know how much you're putting in, it will actually work. Like, furthermore, you will study about cooperative societies. And in cooperative societies, you don't have a direct link between the effort and the reward. Why? Because members that are there in a cooperative society, you learn this afterwards, members that are there in the cooperative society, you don't know how much a person will work. And that person slowly doesn't know that if I work like, say, like 10 transactions or etc., that person doesn't know that what profit the business gets, right? Because if I'm creating so many transactions, I will get the part of the money. For example, if I'm making 10 to 20 transactions and I get 1 lakh into the business, and there are about say 20 members, even though I'm making those 20 transactions and other people have done nothing, they will still get their shares. They will still get their shares, not more than 10%. Even if they've made like one transaction each, they will get 1% of the thing. I will get like 20%, or how much ever transactions I've made, and not more than 10%, of course. But there is no direct link over here. Why? Because I know even though I have done more hard work than them, they will get their amount of money. Even though I've done more than them, more hard work than them, I should be deserving all the money, even though they have done 1 to 2 transactions, but I have done like 20 to 30 of them. So of course you would like feel inside that they have done so less. Even though they're getting their part of share, you must be thinking inside that, I mean, I am the superstar, I should get everything. Which of course it's not justice to everyone, but inside you may be feeling that, and that's what creates a lot of disputes in a cooperative society. But in sole proprietorships, since you're the only person, who's starting the business, who is going on with the business, you know how much you have to work in order to get a reward. So over here you can see there's a direct relationship between the effort and the reward, which motivates any sole proprietor to work double the work that the sole proprietor has, right? So that is one merit, that there is motivation to work. Then third one, quick decisions. Again, it's only your mind and you. So let's just say I think of an idea, I think of it, it's great, I write it down somewhere, and then next thing I can just initiate it. Because in company, you have to go through a whole process, etc. But in sole proprietorship, it's just, there are very, very quick decisions taking place. Then again, there's independent control. The sole proprietor is the supreme judge of all matters pertaining to his business. He enjoys complete freedom to action. No legal formalities are to be compiled with anybody, and nobody can interfere in his work. That person is the controller, the owner, the manager. The owner, the controller, the manager, everything. No legal formalities are needed. Quick decisions can be taken. There's a direct link between the effort and the reward, and it's completely independent control, right? Then, let me just zoom in for all of you. Oops, I'm so sorry. Yes. Then secrecy of affairs. So again, since it's only you who is the sole proprietor, of course. Since it's only you who is the sole proprietor, of course, there won't exactly be any of your business ideas going out to the public, because I mean, you won't go yourself and tell, hey, this is my new idea to your competitors. No, of course not, right? So you don't even if basically, for example, let me tell you an example. Let me make this completely clear. Like in a company, you all know corruption is everywhere, and red tapeism and bureaucracy is something that happens in a company a lot. Even one dishonest person can leak all the secrets of a company, and the company can be doomed. But in the case of sole proprietor, there's a secrecy of affairs, because you're the only one who knows everything about the business. So I mean, that's great then. No one needs to know anything else, and that means there's no dishonest person in the business, except it's only you. But why would you go and tell your secrets to anyone? If you want your business to be doomed, then you will, but why would you otherwise, right? So there's secrecy of affairs. Then personal touch. The sole proprietor, since we have studied before that, it's a small size business, the sole proprietorship can maintain personal contacts with his customers, and he can cater to his requirements each and every customer. This creates a good relationship between the customer and the sole proprietor, and this way, the whole community, or the business of the sole proprietor, expands as a whole. Because if the customer likes the attitude and the business that the sole proprietor is going under, of course this customer will go forward to give the sole proprietor's numbers to everyone at all. And one day the sole proprietor can or may become into a company as well, right? Inexpensive management, of course, since the sole proprietor again is the owner, the controller, and the manager, very less employment is required. In some cases, not at all. In some cases, yes, in the fields of, if you have a wine shop, in the fields of alcohol, or if you have a tattoo shop, in the fields of whoever, an artist and all of that. But in other cases, like a grocery shop, yes, a few a few people and helpers, that can help the customers with any knowledge here and there while you actually work on your business, because you can't serve everyone, right? Then flexibility of operations. A sole proprietor, wait, let me read it again. Flexibility of operations, point number 8. A sole trader business is equally small in size and simple in structure. It can therefore be adjusted easily whenever necessary. The proprietor can easily change or modify his line of business. So this is very, very easy, or very, very similar to quick decisions, because of course the sole proprietor is the only one. So the sole proprietor need not to consult anyone as such. So it's basically just flexibility of operations. You can do whatever you want. Then social desirability. Oh God, I'm never able to pronounce this word. I'm sorry. Point number 9. Social desirability. Hopefully I pronounced it right now. I guess not. Okay. So sole proprietorship is desirable from the social point of view. A, it provides self-employment. B, it is an independent way of life. And C, it makes for diffusion of business ownership. It offers equal opportunity for all the use of talents. And D, it helps in the decentralization of economic development in the country. Of course, it's social desirability. Now, if someone asks you how social desirability... God. I'm so sorry. I always do this to myself. Okay. Desirability. Sorry. Okay, so basically the social proprietor, of course, first, it's a self-employment. So you will have a certain type of social desirability. Why? Because it is self-employment, so you don't need to consult anyone for sure. Then it is an independent way of life. You don't need to again consult anyone. It is a diffusion of business ownership. It offers equal opportunity to the use of talents, and you can hire a few people in their own fields, and other than that, you know what you're good at, so you can put or insert yourself in those fields, which will be almost like an asset to your business. So it's a great point of view if you see socially, right? Okay, moving on to the demerits. Hopefully till now it's all clear. You can just mark each and every merits. Nothing really to mark over here. According to you, you can mark it, because in the first chapter there were like points here and there, but in this chapter it's honestly just you'll get questions like merits, demerits, name this, name that, blah blah blah, all of that. Okay, fine. Demerits of sole proprietorship is first, it's limited capital for sure, because you're the only person. And how much will you invest? Like, you can of course get only very, very, very limited capital, because again, you don't know if your business is going to be a success or a flop. So you can only exactly invest very, very little in your business. Of course, if it's having really like a lot of success, you will one day maybe change your sole proprietorship into a actual company or a firm, whatever. But other than that, mainly it always stays small scale, and that's why all the businesses are small scale as well. Then limited managerial skill. A single person is unlikely to possess the necessary skills in all aspects of business. Of course, a person, if I'm starting a grocery shop, I cannot have, and a lot of people, I mean, they're not all-rounders. They cannot be good at business also. They can't be good at finance also, maths also, and then how to serve people, how to talk to people. So there's definitely limited managerial skills, because a sole proprietor cannot alone handle everyone and all the aspects that a business requires, right? He may not be able to manage the business efficiently. There's a lack of specialization in sole proprietorship. The proprietor may feel overburdened, and his decision might be unbalanced, just a quick decision, because a sole proprietor, since it's the only person, it's very, very hard to manage everything that is going around you. Then unlimited liability, very easy. You're the only person, so you have unlimited debts. Lack of continuity. So since you are the owner, the controller, and the manager and the controller, yes, exactly, that's what I said. So if you die, God forbidden, if anyone dies, not you. Why am I saying you like this complete video? I'm extremely sorry. So if the sole proprietor dies, okay, the business will also be shut off, unless and until the sole proprietor has, of course, told his son or his daughter to continue the business, or his wife, whatever. But apart from that, the sole proprietor The life of the sole proprietorship is uncertain. Illness, everything will dissolve the business completely. Alright, hope you all understood till here. Again, I'm extremely sorry for using the word you throughout the video. Very, very sorry. Then limited scope for expansion. Why? Because again, there is limited capital. Okay. Now, let's talk about the suitability of sole proprietorship. So, thus, sole proprietorship has several advantages and disadvantages. According to William R. Bassett, the one-man control is the best in the world if that man is big enough to manage everything. Now, underline this very, very, very carefully, and also underline who has quoted it. William R. Bassett. Okay? After, of course, you finish marking all the demerits. Yeah? Mark this. You may get a give reason question. Explain. The one-man control is the best in the world if that man is big enough to manage everything. In this, you can talk about all the demerits that a sole proprietor has to go through if that man is big enough. That is what it stands for, basically. But one man can rarely manage and control everything. Therefore, sole proprietorship is a suitable form of organization in the following cases: where the market is local, where personal attention to the needs and preferences to the customers is essential, like beauty parlors and tailoring, etc. Where fashion changes very frequently, and where small amount of capital is needed. Now, all of these examples you can mark with your green pen. And for those of the people who are new to my channel and this video, hi everyone. Please subscribe to FikarNot, and whenever we do commercial application, we use yellow for the ones that are important and green for the ones that are just to read through, basically. It's not that they're not important, but just you can read through because it's basically all common sense. Just don't stress your head a lot on that. Not stress your head. What am I saying? Just don't stress yourself over that, okay? And I guess honestly we could today beat our record of finishing a chapter, because our chapter is almost finished. Okay. Okay, well, let's beat that record and let's go on to joint Hindu family business. So the joint Hindu family business refers to a business which is owned and managed by the members of a joint Hindu family. It is also known as Hindu undivided family business. It is governed by Hindu Succession Act. This form of business is created by the law of succession. The joint Hindu family form of business is one in which family possesses some inherited property. The share of ancestral property is inherited by a male member from his father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. Thus, 3 successive generations can simultaneously inherit the ancestral property. All the male members have the share in the family property, are known as co-parsensors. The oldest male member is called the karta. Alright, so what does this mean now? First thing, as I say, keep on underlining, okay? Joint Hindu family business. Okay. So what is the joint Hindu family business? The joint Hindu family business refers to a business which is owned and managed by the members of the joint Hindu family. Now, a lot of times in movies, you must have heard people saying that, hey, you don't need to worry about studies, you have a family business. Hey, you don't need to worry about this, you have a family business, and all of that. Well, this is because this is where we talk about joint Hindu family businesses, right? So joint Hindu family business is owned and managed by a complete Hindu family. It starts with ancestors, it keeps going down, and generations are passed, and the whole business is continued. Like a lot of company names you must have heard, like Birla Bros and all of that. And a lot of company names have the word family or something in that, like Dash and Dash Sons and all of that. So you can see, those are family businesses, joint Hindu family businesses, right? It is also called as the Hindu undivided family business. So first thing to mark is which is owned and managed by the members of the joint Hindu family business. It is also called as Hindu undivided family business, and it is governed by the Hindu Succession Act. This form of business is created by the law of succession. Underline that as well. Now, the joint Hindu family business form is one where the family possesses some inherited property. So, the ones, as I said, the ancestors are starting a business. They have left the property, and the share of the ancestral property is inherited by the male member. So, it's almost like if I am, let's say, for example, I am the male of a family, and generations back, let's say my great-great-grandfather started this business. The business will then go on to my great-grandfather. From there, my grandfather. From there, my father, and then it will come to me. Okay, so it keeps on going on generations from generations, and it is inherited by the male member from his father, grandfather, and great grandfather. Thus, 3 successive generations can simultaneously inherit the ancestral property that the ancestors have come up, like basically the ancestors' ancestral property, who have basically come up with this idea of a business. And all the male members having a share in the family property are known as co-parsensors, and the oldest member is known as the karta. Okay, now oldest living member, you can say, of course, we'll get to know why. Okay, some features. So the main characteristics of joint Hindu family business are as follows. Also, hope you all underline each and everything that I told you to. Okay, first, which is owned and managed by the members of a joint Hindu family, that it is called as Hindu undivided family business, registered under the Hindu Succession Act, and it is the law of succession. Okay, now starting with the features. First is the membership. A person becomes a member in the family business by the virtue of his or her birth in the family. No formal agreement is necessary between the family members. It is restricted to only 3 successive generations. Underline this, okay? Only 3 successive generations. Only male members can come into the generation, like, it can become co-parsensors, and a female relative of a deceased male co-parsensor will have a share after death of the co-parsensor, and minors are also full-fledged. So it's just when you have taken birth, that person will be the co-parsensor of the family business. Management. The management of a joint Hindu family is vested in the karta. The karta may, however, associate other members to assist him in the management of the family business. Then the liability of the karta is unlimited, but the others is limited. Okay, depends on how much share they have. Right to accounts. Co-parsensors are not entitled to inspect the accounts. Only the karta can. Then dissolution. The joint Hindu family is not dissolved by the death of the co-parsensor. It comes to an end when all members notify that they are not members of the joint Hindu family business, and they all take a decision that, okay, we have loss, or this is the reason, and that's why we'll stop the joint Hindu family business. Now, some merits are: first, ease of formation. Joint Hindu family business is started quickly. When I say I want to start a joint Hindu family business, I can just start, and then it will go on from generations and generations. Freedom of action. The karta has complete control on the family business. The management of business is centralized in the hands of the eldest and the most experienced man, that is the karta. No other member of the family can interfere in the management. Personal contact. A joint Hindu family business can maintain direct and intimate contacts with its employees and customers. It provides personal attention, and that's how a customer feels good. Then utmost secrecy, of course. The karta does not let any other person actually look at the account, so there's utmost secrecy, and the secrets of the business are only known to the karta. So therefore, no danger of the trade secrets being disclosed to outsiders. Secrets of the business are not known even to the other members of the family, only to the karta. Limited liability. Limited liability is to the co-parsensors, but unlimited for the karta. Continuity is the existence of a joint Hindu family business is not threatened by the death or incapacity of any member or even the karta. It just comes down when the joint Hindu family breaks itself, which is very sad. Then incentive to work. The karta is the head of the family, therefore he is inspired to work for the welfare of the family, for sure, because he's the head for the family. He knows all the secrets, he knows what's good, what's bad, and basically he takes all the decisions. Then ancestral goodwill. So a joint Hindu family business enjoys the benefits of an ancestral goodwill. There is a close kinship among the family members, or as every member has an equal share. The creditworthiness of the business is high due to the large property of the family and unlimited personal liability of the karta. So basically, a joint Hindu family business, it enjoys all the benefits of ancestral goodwill. And there is a very close kinship among the family members, as every member has an equal share. And
since every family member has an equal share, no family member will be jealous of each other, of course. And the credit worthiness of the business is high due to the large property of the family and unlimited personal liability of the karta, right? Quick decisions are taken. The karta alone is authorized to take all the important decisions. He does not need to consult anyone. He or she does not need to consult anyone. Economy, expenses of management are very low. Karta is the only sole manager, and the others just become the co-parsonsers when they are born. Flexibility of operations, undivided control creates flexibility in business. The family firm is free from legal restrictions. So basically, it's an undivided control. One family, everything happens over there, and this is it basically creates flexibility in businesses, and therefore there is basically no interruptions, you can say. Some demerits would be there is limited capital, of course, because the karta, the capital of a joint Hindu family business is limited due to the ancestral property. The family property gets divided onto the birth of every male member. The business cannot expand in growth due to the shortage of capital, because the amount of capital that you have is just stuck. It's there. It's what do you say? It is only based on the ancestral property, and it is limited to that. And the property gets divided, of course, to every single male member. So the more the members, the more harder it becomes, of course. And the business cannot expand and grow due to the shortage of capital. Unlimited liability for the karta. Then limited managerial ability. The karta alone may not be competent to manage the business, even though since he is the most experienced and the oldest, that becomes even more harder. Hasty decisions taken by the karta may sometimes be hasty, and this is because he's overburdened with the work. Responsibility not matched with reward. The karta manages the business single-handedly, and he alone bears unlimited liability, but his share in the business is equal to that of any member, which basically demotivates the karta to do nothing, because he gets the exact same reward but does double the work than any other member. Then source of conflict. Exclusive control by the karta often creates lack of trust on the part of other members, because they may think that the karta can do anything to the business and they'll be doomed then. Alright, so of course there's a source of conflict that comes over here between the members and the karta, and there's also a scope for misuse. Being the senior most member of the family, the karta has complete control on the family business. He may misuse his authority for personal gains as well, because it's of course very very demotivating that you do double the work and you don't get that much amount, which may force the karta to take wrong decisions for his business. Then all of this can be underlined in yellow. Everything is important over here. I think we all have understood everything, so you can just basically go through it, right? And after that, with green you can underline the yes. So with green you can mark the distinction between proprietorship and joint Hindu family business, and also the points of distinction, the distinction points, the parameter points, the distinction of points, whatever. All of that can also be marked with green. Just go through it and you'll understand similarly. Alright, so with this we come to an end of this week's video. If you have any doubts, post it in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to solve them. Until next time, bye.